So this is kind of the last new thing that we're going to do with proofs in this chapter. And we actually already talked about CPCTC a little bit. Does anybody remember what that stands for?
Congruent parts of congruent. Triangles are congruent.
So close.
Oh, of course.
Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Right, so we're going to use this when we are asked to prove that parts of a triangle are congruent. Right? Like if we're asked to prove that two angles are congruent or two sides are congruent. But to use this, we first have to prove that the triangles are congruent. Exactly. This is just kind of adding one extra step to everything that we've been doing. And so, if we look at this first example, we are asked to prove that a pair of angles are congruent. So what we're going to do is prove that the two triangles are congruent, and then claim that this pair of corresponding angles is congruent because all corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. I mean, most of the geometry that we study comes from Euclid. Yeah. He's an ancient Greek mathematician. He's known as the father of geometry. Well, yes, that's true. I don't think that would be a good idea.
I think Rachel would, because that would be her.
Then we would have things like buildings and bridges. Alright, so let's go through one of these together here. I'm given two pairs of congruent sides. Right, so I'm given AB and AD congruent and BC and CD congruent. So let's mark that on the diagram. So AB and AD, these two, and BC and CD. Exactly. So now we can say AC is congruent to AC by the reflexive property. Share that side. So now I have enough information to claim that the triangles are congruent. Right? So now, before we were given the congruent statement every time for the triangles, now when we're writing our own congruent statement, we have to make sure we're matching up corresponding pieces, right? We practiced doing that at the beginning of the chapter. So if I want to say triangle ABC, and remember, there's more than one correct way to do this, just as long as you're matching up corresponding pieces. But if I say triangle ABC, then I would need to say triangle ADC. Okay. So we do need to be careful of that in this step, making sure we're writing our congruent statement correctly. So what's my reason that I can claim these are congruent? Side, side, side. So now, the new step, now I can claim that this pair of corresponding angles is congruent. So angle BCA is congruent to angle DCA because corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. CPCTC. So really, this is exactly like what we've been doing, one extra step. Okay, prove the triangles are congruent, and then go one step further and say, well, that means that this pair of either sides or angles are congruent because CPCTC. Questions? Want to do another one together or try on your own? Alright. Let's try a couple on your own then. I think pretty much everybody's done with number 2, so here's a solution to number 2. So check your answers up here. I think the only thing different we could have done was to say that this pair of angles was congruent instead of this pair. Okay. So you could have had a different pair of angles in here saying that they're alternate interior.
So we just like I switched 30 on that, so
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So go ahead and keep going here.